Hello everyone. Today we'll continue with the chapter flower of Standard 9 Biology book. In last video we studied about the parts of flower and some terms related to it. Today we'll start with sexuality in flowers, and in this topic again we'll be covering some important and new terms related to it. Okay, so first comes bisexual flower. From the word bisexual, we mean bisexual, containing both the reproductive parts, means stamen and carpel, means both the male and female part are present in the flower. That type of flower is known as bisexual flower. It can either be known as hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite is a new term for you. Remember the term, because sometimes in the question they may confuse you by using such type of terms. And it is also known as perfect flower. Next comes unisexual flower or imperfect flower. Unisexual, from the term you can understand that either male or the female part will be present in the flower. That is named as unisexual flower. So under that we'll be studying about staminate flower or pistillate flower. Staminate means presence of stamen. Pistillate means presence of pistil or carpel. Means presence of male flower is known as staminate flower. Presence of female flower is known as female part is known as pistillate flower. Then last comes neuter flower. Neuter means what? The flower will be lacking both the male and the female part. That is known as neuter flower. So these were some terms related to flower, sexuality in flower. Next we'll be studying about the types, the parts of flower, and some important terms related to that. First, coming to calyx. Calyx is the term which is related to sepals. Sepals relatively collectively they are named as calyx. So calyx are green in color. What is the work function of calyx is to protect the flower bud, or it also process synthesis. As it is green in color, it will help in the process of photosynthesis. Now there are three terms related to it. First is polysepalous and gamosepalous. Polysepalous means what? The sepals will be separated from each other in this way. So this type of arrangement, sepal arrangement, is known as polysepalous. Gamosepalous means what? The parts or the sepals will be fused together. They are named as gamosepalous. Epicalyx means what? If you can see the picture, there will be calyx and one more layer of calyx will be present around it, will be arranged around it. Epi means what? Outer. Means one more outer layer of calyx will be present around the primary calyx. So that is the meaning of epicalyx. Okay, got the terms? Polycalyx, polysepalous, gamosepalous, and epicalyx. Now moving on to the next part, that is corolla. Corolla are the petals. Petals relate collectively they are termed as corolla. Corolla, what is the function of corolla? That is, they attract insects for pollination, and also they protect stamen and pistil, means the reproductive part of the plant. Now this corolla is also termed as, some of the corolla they are polypetalous and some of the corolla are gamopetalous. Polypetalous means what? Again, the petals are separate, are known as polypetalous. Gamopetalous, the petals are fused together, are named as gamopetalous. Okay, now moving on to our next part, that is androecium. Androecium is the male part of the flower. So this male part consists of two parts, that is filament and anther. The stalk-like structure named as filament and the bulb-like structure known as anther. Now this anther, if we take a cross section of the anther, we can find the small sacs present. Two lobes are there and those are filled with pollen grains, and these sacs or the bags like structure are known as pollen sacs. Now these pollen grains, when they are immature, they will be present inside the pollen sac, and when they get matured, they will be arranged at the top of the anther in the form of small granular parts. Now these androecium, they are again arranged in different ways. So in your book, 3 different ways are discussed. Monadelphous, mona means one. So if they form one bundle, then it is named as monadelphous. If androecium is arranged in one bundle. If the androecium is arranged in 2 bundles, then they are named as didelphous. Di means 2. If they are arranged in several bundles, then they are named as polydelphous. Okay, mono 1, di 2, poly several. Then coming on to the next part, that is gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female part of the flower. If you see the part, you can find there is a lobe-like structure that is named as stigma, a stalk-like structure style, a bulge structure that is ovary. Inside the ovary you can find ovule. Okay, now this structures has some important functions to do. Stigma, that is a landing place for the pollen grains during pollination. Style, it is a stalk which connects stigma to the ovary. So stigma that collects the pollen grains. Pollen grains, they descend down towards the ovary by the through the style, and then in the ovary they enter inside the ovule. And the last one, ovary, it is a swollen basal portion and it consists of ovule. Okay, now there are some terms which you'll be coming across, that is inflorescence and placentation. Inflorescence is nothing but the mode of arrangement of flowers. If you have noticed, in different flowers there are different mode of arrangement of flowers in plants. So those arrangement that can be named as inflorescence. Then comes placenta. What does placenta mean? Suppose this is the ovary and here present your ovule. Now this ovule is attached to the ovary by a tissue, and that tissue is named as placenta. Placenta is a tissue that attaches the ovule to the wall of the ovary. Then from here only the term comes placentation. Placentation means what? Placentation is a manner of arrangement of ovule to the walls of the ovary. I'm giving you one example. If you take different fruits, if you take orange, you can take apple, you can take grapes, you take those fruits, and if you dissect it, if you cut it suppose this is your grapes, and if you take a cross section, you can see the arrangement of placenta, you can see the arrangement of ovule and seeds in that fruit. Okay, so that attachment is known as placentation. Okay, So placentation can be of various form. So here three or four forms I have shown to you. Okay, so this were all about your inflorescence and placentation. So here we ended our flower chapter. So hope you'll do the exercise as well. Okay.